Great. We'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Nicholson,
Present.
Brian Castellanos, Deb Ruggiero, she let me know she would not be here. Dr. Alvarez,
Present.
Diana Chakutis,
Present.
Flory Makua,
Present.
Jessica Gerardo, Jim Ridley let me know he would not be present. Joe Smart,
Present.
Karen Miller, she let me know she wouldn't be present either. Kevin Ritterhouse,
Present.
Lauren Drago,
Present.
Lorraine Gately,
Present.
Michael Bertino, Michael Donovan,
Present.
Peter Koulikides, Rich Marlin,
Present.
Rick Starbird, he let me know he would not be present. Tom Mannion, Mayor McGee,
Present.
Wayne Losey. That's it. Thank you.
And Jean, just a reminder, you have to check on to see if anyone's in the waiting room now that you're the host.
Sorry about that. Yeah, almost set.
Okay, next up, the agenda for tonight. Can you advance it, Jean, please?
Sorry. I think I can. There we go. All right.
Agenda for tonight is approval of the October 4th meeting minutes and a quick overview of the project budget. And then we'll turn it over for a design update, quick update on Article 97, MIPA and FEMA permitting, as well as a review of the schematic design submission. And if everyone's comfortable, we would be asking for a vote to submit the schematic design submission to MSBA. And then we'll review schedule at the end and then open it up for other business. Next. The October 4th, 2023 SBC meeting should have been in your packet. Does anyone have any
Motion to
comments?
accept. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Next is the project budget status report, which is also included in the OPM monthly report. We are 100% committed to the feasibility study budget. We've expended 86%, and we are approximately 95% complete with the feasibility study and schematic design. And we do expect, after all design consultants have submitted invoices, that we will expend all of the feasibility study and schematic design funds through billings through October. Next. Do you want me to take this, Jean, or would you like to take it?
That'd be great, Lynn. Thank you.
So as everyone knows, we have been in the process of dealing with Article 97 approval, as well as getting ready to file an environmental notification form to MIPA. And it's all because of Magnolia Park. It meets all the thresholds required. We have the wetlands bylaw that we have to address. We have a MIPA environmental impact report that we're needing to address. Plus we have Article 97 allocated to this park as it's conserved parkland. And then we also have a permitting through the MPDES and a stormwater management plan that will be required. Next. We have and also too, because it is a city park and because it is Article 97 land, and because we have MIPA threshold, which is a new average daily trips. And we also have the Article 97 transfer and greater than an acre floodplain impact. It all triggers us having to file for a MIPA environmental impact report. The MIPA environmental impact report is also contingent on Article 97 passing. Next, so right now, we just had a FEMA appeal submission that was submitted. Actually, today it was submitted. And we're hoping to hear back from FEMA by November 15th, at which point we will have the information required in order to file the environmental notification form to MIPA no later than the December 22nd timeframe. And we're looking for a legislative vote. I heard today an update on that, and it looks like they have indicated that it's likely to be passed well before the end of their regular session in June of 2024. So we really want to make sure that it passes in time so that we can get through our final environmental impact report. So hopefully it'll be in the March timeframe at the latest for the Article 97 passing. We do need to submit our draft environmental impact report sometime in sometime in January, so that we can guarantee a response by February 16th. And at the same time, as soon as we get our response from the draft, we'll have to file a final environmental impact report immediately after, so that we can get a response by April 5th on the final environmental impact report. At that point, we'll need to go to the local conservation commission for an order of conditions. We hope we can get that resolved by May 31st so that we can start construction as soon as school's out in mid-June.
Lynn,
Yes.
Lynn, I just got Tom Mannion just reached out to me. He can't get onto the meeting. He thinks he was sent an October 4th link. So he's on so I don't know who can reach out to him to get him the right link to get him.
Can you resend the link? I know Lorraine had that same problem as well. Tim, did you hear that?
I don't see Tim on there he is. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I was plugging my computer in. What'd you say, Lynn?
You need to resend Tom Mannion the October 18th meeting
Okay.
notes. Okay, next slide, unless anybody else has any other questions.
Just a meeting invite, right, Lynn?
Yes.
Yeah.
With that, I'll turn it over to Jean to talk about the content of the schematic design submission. We sent out the schematic design draft to everyone, and I got tons of notifications that a lot of people downloaded it. So made me happy. Hopefully you've been able to take a look at it. And if you have any questions, you can let us know as we go through it.
Yeah, thanks, Lynn. This is another one of those, 3-inch thick binders. The table of contents is spanning over, 3 or 4 pages here. The gist of it is, we provide them an overview, which we sent out on Saturday. The district compiles, with our help, a submission to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, DESE, a packet showing, explaining what their special ed plan is for the school. And then we show where all the special ed spaces are, how they're distributed, why they are where there are. And we, MSBA will give it a once over. If they don't see any major issues with it, they will submit it to DESE. And part of, DESI has to respond before the MSBA and approve it before the MSBA board approves the project. So that's kind of its own little universe there. And then this section 4.1.2 is, they call it schematic design binder. It's really a summary of all this stuff, architectural characteristics and relationships, security, site plans, floor plans, traffic analysis, and it kind of goes on and on and on. And it's really us putting all the data that you were sent on Saturday, all these reports and specifications and drawings, which are listed in the appendices, and the project manual. It's really just putting a narrative on top of that, so the readers at MSBA can get a good feeling without having to go through all 2,000 pages of the submission. So I don't know if I'll try to go fairly briefly, I guess, because if anyone has any questions, they're welcome to interrupt and ask them. But it's that schematic design binder, that's that narrative. Then the project manual, which is outline specifications, written descriptions of all the requirements and systems that would be in the final building, and then schematic design drawings. And the reason that we do the project manual and the drawings is we give them to the cost estimators, and the cost estimators know all the systems, all the materials that we intend to use, and then they put dollars on it. And those are the two estimates we have, which were both reconciled within way less than 1% of each other, and the construction costs that are now bringing the project on budget. And then the appendices, which is all the supporting documents. And we just highlighted when we sent this out to you that the cost of the new school, when we first started on our first submission, the preliminary design program, the cost was 200 million. 0.3 million. That's the project cost. That's construction and all the other costs associated with it. When we went to the preferred schematic report, which was the second submission, the project budget, there was some real pressure about the budget, and we were able to, I guess, kind of make the building more compact, and we lowered the cost to 170. And now at the preferred schematic report, which we're submitting, we're tracking right there. We're at 168, 263. And then one of those appendices is a big worksheet that you have to submit to MSBA showing where all the dollars are in the project. So overall the project is within the budget, and that's why we're here tonight, because we feel comfortable asking you for an approval. So this again went out on Saturday. It was a kind of brief narrative and overview of the project. I'll be showing you some images in a couple of slides. This happens to be from Magnolia Ave, looking at this is not what the building is going to end up looking like, but for now, we're just trying to think about materials and how we might break up the big mass of the building. The floor plans really haven't changed very much. We still have the 5 stories. The front of the building faces Magnolia Park with the administrative area in purple, counseling areas and special ed areas in green, the 2 music classrooms, a black box theater, the gym, the CAF. So this is really kind of the public area, for after hours. There are locker rooms that are and changing rooms, which came out of this, some committee comments that are associated with the gymnasium. And then there's community health suite and a nurse suite, and then some custodial areas in gray. As I said, This floor is really kind of open, would be open after hours for these community uses. Then on the upper floor, we've talked about it before, but we have the substantially separate special ed programs, life skills and coach. And this was a lesson learned from Thurgood Marshall. They're on this floor as opposed to being on an upper level. So if there's a fire alarm or some other issue, it's a much easier path to get out of the building than waiting for an elevator or perhaps carrying some students down a stair. The guidance suite, one of these, purple areas that's related to admin, has an internal stair from admin. So if a parent or guardian had to come up and meet with some counselors, they would get checked in to the main office and go up this stair and land up in this controlled area. They would not go through the school, up the stair and wander around trying to get here. The upper gym, upper cafeteria, mechanical room, and then a wood shop and drafting classroom. And we will have some sort of opening facing Canomo Ave, the drive over here, so we can load supplies into the wood shop. Then on the upper 3 floors, we made the 3rd floor 6th grade, the 4th floor 7th grade, and the 5th floor 8th grade. And again, kind of repetitive, but the 6th grade, all the grade levels are set up in clusters of 4 science lab and 3 classrooms. And most of the day, the same students with the same teachers are rotating within their cluster. They do come out for specials. In this case, we have the AV studio, we have the media center, we have these movement labs, which are, the MSBA granted the city another 3,000 square feet of physical education space. So we talked about making these, it could be a dance studio, could be a yoga studio. We provided a storage room, so there could be tables and chairs and some cabinets. So we talked about these being multi-purpose rooms as well, if they're not being used for movement activity. And then these open out onto what we're calling a learning deck, but it's an area where there might be planter boxes, there might be outdoor science things going on, and the equipment is, off the ground and protected. So this is really kind of considered an outdoor classroom and teaching area. The 7th grade, there's 1 cluster, 2 clusters, 3 clusters. This has art rooms, 2 art rooms stacked on top of the movement studios. And then there are a series of special ed rooms. We have an intellectually impaired cluster that has 2 classrooms on the 4th floor and 2 on the 5th. This is the same. It's a 4 classroom cluster, but it's vertical because it could serve anyone on any of the grades. So there's 2 up and 2 down. And then there's an emotionally impaired classroom with a therapy room, a couple health classrooms. And each of the upper floors has a core with student and staff toilets right outside the 2 elevators and overseen by a faculty room for planning and an administrative position. So where this is 7th grade, this is 8th. And where this is art, the sewing and cooking labs are on top of that. But otherwise, it's pretty much just stacks on itself. Let's see, Lorraine, you had a question, it looks like.
Yeah, could you go on to the 2nd floor?
Sure. Yep, it's right here.
Yeah, on the 2nd floor, I just want to be clear that we have exits going out to Canomo Ave in case of fire or an emergency. So we have the front door going out to Magnolia, but there, because we have all the special ed, there's exits there going on the roadway behind or on Canomo Ave.
Yeah, that's a good point. So thank you. The grade facing Magnolia Park is low. And then we're digging the building into the hillside. So the grade on the backside is actually up here. It's at the level where the Sisson playground is right now.
Okay, that's why I thought we were putting the special ed on the second floor, was because people wouldn't have to carry them down the stairs. They would just be able to go right out.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So these green classrooms here, they could come down the hallway, and there's a hallway right here with a vestibule out to a ramp that gets them down to the Sisson drive.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to make sure, Jean.
Yeah, no problem. It's been there
Okay.
from day one. We heard that loud and clear.
Okay, thank you.
I think you all have seen the plans a lot, but does anyone else have any questions on them? Or we're okay for the moment? So this is a 3D view, as if you were a bird kind of up above Flax Pond, because we want to talk we did have to do not only architectural drawings, but we had to do site drawings. So the builders knew how much dirt we were moving, where we were putting it, what kind of amenities we have. So I'm gonna go from bottom to top, but Magnolia Ave is here, kind of in the lower right. And if you kept going to the left, you'd end up at Wyoming Square. This is currently all Magnolia Playground. And what we've done is we have entrance into the new Pickering, and the main entrance to the new Pickering is here, coming in off Magnolia, and queuing up parents, getting them off the street and dropping off, and then continuing back down and around along the property line with the housing authority back out to Magnolia. So it's a pretty simple loop. And then obviously, if you want to get to the parking, you can either come in this way or you can come in, that way. But this plateau is down lower than where we're placing the building, because we were working back and forth with a potential floodplain from Flax Pond. And that's one of the submissions that was made today. The city, I think rightly so, is appealing and feels pretty confident that that floodplain may go away. But we designed the site being conservative about it, but also it allows us to what they call balance the site. So the dirt that we're scooping out of the hillside so that we can set the new Pickering into the hill, we can place that dirt here. We can kind of raise up this area here and not have to truck soil out or bring a lot of soil in. So that's a big cost savings. We did right in here now is a playground, and we are replacing it with structures down here. This is not school property. This will be city property, and replacing the basketball court that's currently there. We have a long way to go on, layout and landscaping, but at the current time, we're trying to get some green space out in front of the building. We have always committed to having some evergreens between the new school and the neighbors. And we are showing kind of some small trees, but the idea is going to be to try to get some deciduous trees that shade the parking lot to the extent possible, which would help. I'm going to show you a couple of other images, but I keep highlighting the media center and the cafeteria. They're kind of placed in this corner because this corner actually has a really nice view out to Flax Pond, kind of across the parking lot and playground here. And since those are communal spaces, everyone goes to them. It's not a certain teacher's classroom. That was one of the reasons for placing them where they are. So the existing Sisson wing will stay where it is. We're raising the grade in the back, and this is where the Sisson playground will be. We will have a gate here and another gate here, so there'll be a direct access to the playground without cars going through. The two gates would allow emergency vehicles to get through if that was necessary, and then continue to the back of Pickering or up to Broadway. Anyone have any questions on that? Hopefully it all makes sense. So I'm not showing.
I had one question.
Oh, sure.
After you go past the Sisson, as you go into the old Pickering, that area that you just have your arrow right on it, is that going to be parking for teachers?
Yes, that's going to continue its current use as parking, Lorraine. I will say also that
Isn't that the land that they have all the trees and everything in the high wall? Isn't that right across from Wyoma? I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking.
I'm not sure I know exactly what you're thinking. I don't know if Mike does.
Yes, the area between the two wings of Pickering, the Pickering gym and the
Oh, you
Pickering
mean up in here?
building is supported by a retaining wall, and there's a landscaped area only accessible from within the school. There's no parking in that area.
I'm sorry, Lorraine, I thought you were talking over here, but
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah, no, we're not, no, we're not touching that courtyard with the trees in it.
So it won't be parking?
On the kind of the existing parking that's out behind the two schools where the dumpsters are, some teacher
right.
parking, that'll be in the same place. But we're not doing anything inside the courtyard.
All right, thank you.
Tom, did you have a question?
Gene, I just want to make a comment how positive from my perspective, because I drive Magnolia Euclid a lot, what this layout is going to do for the entire neighborhood and getting the children off the street is a very positive thing. And also the playground still staying in the basketball court. I think this is brilliant. I just want to commend you for this.
You're very nice. You're very nice. I mean, we agree. Obviously, I think it's going to be a big improvement. It's nice to have the opportunity to be involved. Should I just go on to the next?
And the geese will stop crossing the street too.
So, as I said, there are a number of civil engineering drawings. This is just one of them, but you know, they have precisely laid out the parking, the drives, the grading, the retaining walls, all the stuff. Well, even like under the parking place for the water to go and you know, the stormwater when it rains, how to take care of that so it's not flooding anything. So all this stuff was just like we've designed the building and talked about the systems. You know, our site engineers have really laid out enough, so, you know, including ramps and, you know, just extent of everything so that the cost estimates really do reflect what we feel it's going to cost. And Magnolia is down here. This, I probably went too crazy, but this is where the cafeteria is. It's a communal space, and right above it's the library, the media center. So they're going to have that wonderful view out to Flax Pond across the street. The Sisson playground, you can see Sisson's up on the hill, right? So there's going to be a series of ramps and stairs, but this whole area here is going to be their new playground. And the gates would be here and here, so that people coming in from Broadway won't be able to get into the playground, nor people coming from Magnolia. Lorraine, this is that courtyard at Pickering that's going to just stay untouched, and then this is the parking that's already there. And this parking,
thank you, Dean.
oh, you're welcome. This parking area, all the spaces that are shown in the aisles, that's enough parking spaces to deal with the new Pickering. The existing Pickering, we just took the same number of staff that were there now, and the Sisson. So between the parking out front, the parking out back and all this, we're very confident that parking, off-street parking will not be an issue when this building is constructed. And the old Pickering has some sort of use. Our landscape architect, I know this isn't pretty, it's not all green and everything, but they did the same thing that the site engineer did. They showed, where plantings are gonna go. And they also started to lay out, kind of the extent of how the playgrounds might work. So this is the view from the street. These are all gonna get kind of repetitive, but the first one was looking down as if you're a bird. This is Magnolia right here. So if you're on the sidewalk, the new playground, we haven't shown the structures, but the basketball court, the parking lot in the foreground, the cafeteria, media center, 8th grade floor, 7th grade floor, 6th grade is behind the media center, and the main entrance. Right now it's recessed, it has an overhang, and as I said, we have a long way to go, with what this building is going to look like precisely, but we're trying to break it up so that it's not just one big chunk of red brick. So we kind of have the first 2 floors, maybe a darker brick of some sort. We're trying to get something transparent and maybe to separate it from the upper 2 floors, and maybe do some sort of red brick something that relates to the existing system.
Gene, will you have a mock-up done on site?
We will definitely, when we're doing construction, for sure, Flory,
Okay.
but before then, we'll bring, we'll have a presentation on exterior materials that we propose and
Yep.
look to you guys for feedback. And these renderings will be a lot more, I'll say detailed, you know what I mean? Because
Right.
we really have, after this submission, there's still another almost full year of design. So we really haven't started the I don't know, detailed design. So I'll go through this quickly. This is just as if you're in the parking lot and the main entrance, and the same, the learning deck, the glass wall, the cafeteria. Over in here, it's behind the tree, but that's how you'd get from the parking lot up to the entrance. And you can see that a little bit better here. I can tell you right now, instead of all this zigzag switchbacks, I'm sure that we're going to come up with something more graceful for a ramp, probably longer, but like I say, not just this big cluster of chaos. But you can see we want to mark the main entrance with a different material. And again, when you come in, admin's on the left and the cafeteria is on the right. The 6th grade is up on this floor, the 7th grade on this floor, and the 8th grade on that floor. And this is if you were kind of flying above maybe the baseball field, and this is the back of the Pickering gymnasium, the back of Sisson. So this is the Sisson playground. It'll be elevated because we do want to not truck off dirt. So we're going to take the dirt we scoop out and kind of raise the site a little bit here. But it has those 2 gates. And so kids coming out of Sisson will be able to wind their way down to this playground. And as you can see, Flax Pond is kind of out in here. So from the playground, from, a lot of the communal spaces in the new Pickering, they'll have wonderful views.
Gene, just quick.
Tom, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just put it up. The Little League field, how is this going to affect it as far as building up around the Little League field? It's already kind of a bowl there that floods. Is that?
Yeah, the city has hired someone to kind of study what's an existing undefined flood zone around there, Tom. And frankly, we've been a little bit amorphous back in that area because the engineer that was hired needs to tell us exactly what elevation we have to design to. So I would say that everything kind of in this area, like this wall may end up getting pushed and we may be bringing water from that playground, that baseball field, we may be bringing it down through the driveway so it can get over to Flax. So I don't have a precise answer for you because we're kind of waiting for a little more detail.
I know there's a lot involved. Just a quick question. Thanks, Gene.
Yeah, no problem. Did anyone else have any comments or questions about, again, this is the overall. It is schematic design, but there's a long way to go on design work. So. If not, I think I've already gone through this, Lynn. I don't know if you have anything else to add, but.
I think what I will add real quickly is the schematic design submission is intended to support what we are asking for in terms of budget for the project. And it's supposed to back up what our costs are for the project as well as our proposed schedule for the project.
Gene, I just have a quick question on your narrative on security. Do you guys ever looked at some type of gunshot alarms for K to 12 in the area?
We did not. We did meet with the public safety people,
Right.
Including obviously the police department was a big input
So
on
is it safe to say that everyone collectively say that it was okay not to install one at this point?
Well, we've never seen them. Well, no, we've seen them. We've never installed them on an MSBA project.
Okay.
And, the budget was and remains, pretty tight. But my understanding of it is it kind of covers a whole neighborhood. And it's more kind of like a city thing. Are you thinking of something different, like inside the building or?
Correct. I'm thinking about inside the building, or at least surrounding the building at a minimum. I think, we're building a school that will last well after we're gone, it almost seems like it's the appropriate, at least maybe just conduits, and if the city ever wants to do this as a capital project in the future, sure, but at least some infrastructures are in place. It seems like it's the wave, in some of those urban cities with their schools. And we all know what's happening toward with the climate that we're in, it's happening more and more often.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, thank you. I can take that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you so much. No, it's a great question, and obviously it's a huge priority for the district in terms of the security. The district's making a several $1 million investment in security technology over the course of the next couple of years. So that'll be uniform throughout the district. Yeah, and it's mainly around videos, but the videos have the technology has been under review with the police department and the school department, and that procurement's ongoing. I don't know, Dr. Alvarez, if that's
so it almost sounds like since we're heading that direction, the city already planning on doing this. I think it's the right time to at least a minimum put conduits in here instead of coming back later on and start running MCs that's visible. Let's go ahead and plan for it. Knowing that
these will be just to be clear, this is video we're talking about, but it's throughout the system. So whatever the requirements are to support the system, I'm sure will be here at the new Pickering.
So I'm not sure if we're talking about the same thing. So what I'm talking about is in an event where we have a gunshot going off, again, whether it's inside the building or outside the building, an alarm will be able to notify the authority that at least in this location, this wing, this floor, it's not precise, but at least it will narrow down the area instead of a video monitor situation.
Yeah, it's more audio.
So,
So I think,
so
Lori,
if,
we
if,
can put in conduit like really inexpensively. But
Right.
sorry, Yvonne, go ahead.
sorry, if I could just share, you're correct, Mayor Nicholson. And one of the things that system does do is it identifies any noise, like it actually identifies like decibels, smells, carbon monoxide. It also has the ability to shut doors, right, lock them down automatically from the security system and from the principal's control, right, even from a cell phone app. So that's correct. All of the schools that we're looking at will have the same system. It's just being installed through phases.
Okay, understood. But I think on the narrative, the current system that's we're calling, Gene, if you could correct me, I'm not sure if we're talking about the same manufacturer here. So I think Gene has a different system that's in place in the narrative.
Yeah, we have a number of systems,
Right.
Lori, but I will, you know, everything from Windows that you can't smash to,
Right.
you know, all sorts of electronic systems. And I will reach out to the city to
Right.
find out what they're putting in the other schools, just to make sure we're doing the same thing or
Exactly.
something
Exactly.
compatible.
It's right, because I think if this goes forward, we put this system in, and then once the city approve the future system for the district, then we have to come back and make changes here again. So I think if there's some type of communication, we can just do it once and for all.
Yeah. No, that's a great point.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
So Lynn, well, I don't know if anyone else has any questions, happy to answer them, or I don't know if you want to ask for a vote to submit.
Is everyone comfortable? Has everyone had their questions answered?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Nicholson,
Yes.
Brian Castellanos, Deb Ruggiero, Dr. Alvarez,
Yes.
Diana Chakoudas,
Yes.
Gloria McCua,
Yes.
Jessica Gerardo, Jim Ridley, Joe Smart,
Yes.
Karen Miller, Kevin Ritterhouse,
Yes.
Lauren Drago,
Yes.
Lorraine Gately,
Yes.
Michael Bertino, Michael Donovan,
Yes.
Peter Koulikitis, Rich Marlin,
yes.
Rick Starbird, Tom Mannion,
Yes.
Mayor McGee,
Yes.
Wayne Lozey. That's it. Unanimous. Thank you, everyone. Just to quickly run over upcoming dates, you just approved the packet to be submitted to MSBA. We will be looking to submit that packet by October 26th, if not sooner. We do expect that on the October 25th board that MSBA will approve an increase in the funding for the project. And shortly thereafter, we should probably have a definitive answer on what their reimbursement will be. We're looking at the next SBC meeting to talk about proprietary items. We'll be reviewing those and requesting a vote of the school committee. We are likely to be at one of the two upcoming MSBA Facilities Assessment Subcommittee meetings, either November 8th or November 15th. And this will be in anticipation of our approval of schematic design at the December 13th Massachusetts Board of Directors meeting. We'll be also meeting that night as well. We'll give you the update of of their approval, and we should know prior to December 35th. I mean, December 13th, we should know sometime after November or before November 15th or thereabout what our share of the project costs will be. Definitively, we do have a range right now, but we'll know more once we have our facilities assessment subcommittee meeting. Does anybody have any questions on upcoming milestones? If not, I'll give you a quick overview of the schedule. We're still tracking for a fall occupancy. Right now, it's looking like it's going to be November, or timeframe for substantial completion, with a December final completion and a opening January 27th, or January 2027. However, we're working hard to back that date out, and part of that will be discussions over the next week about whether or not the city wants to advance design development. So we'll be talking about that over the next week or so to see how they feel about that. And that's right now, we're again tracking to try to complete all of our permitting requirements by the end of May, so that we're ready to go with early release package, which is the enabling work that will happen in the existing Pickering to accommodate the new classrooms, so that we can tear down the mobile units, as well as getting started on the site work. Does anybody have any questions on schedule? If there's no other questions, I don't know if anybody has any other business or any other comments or questions.
Just want to say thank you, Lynn, for getting the whole package out. There's a lot of pages there, a lot of
It is.
reading. Thank you on Saturday. Very well done.
Yeah, I'd
Awesome.
like to thank you too.
Absolutely. I'll echo that. Thank you so much to the project team. That was a huge body of effort there, and really exciting and a huge step forward tonight. So thank you also to the whole school building committee for all your thoughtful questions as we continue to move forward on what's going to be a really transformative project. So thank you so much.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you
Good night.
Thanks
all.
all.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone.
Great work. Great work,
Aye.
everyone.
Night.